We gotta celebrate for that. Yeah, there's gotta be something.
Mm-hmm. I know, it's crazy.
Gotta bring in the full crew.
Yeah, well, we've talked about having a drinking show forever. Caleb's wanted to do that for a long time. I think it'd be fun, but I think the editing will be miserable after that one. Because it's gonna last like 3 hours of rambling, and the more we drink, the more that's gonna go on.
I'm sure Riley won't be very happy.
Yeah. Riley, just keep going. We're gonna keep going live for some more. Yeah, that's how it's gonna sound. I think that's what's gonna happen. But either way, I want to see you need to drink some tequila.
If that's going to be your nickname,
yeah, I mean, you really. Oh, right. We don't want to spoil the nickname. I guess we should go ahead. Hello, everyone. Oh, my gosh. This is Trends with Benefits. This is our weekly Roundtable Tech podcast here at Digital Trends, where we talk about the trending tech topics of the week, and we have a lot to get to today. We're broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and what's the last one? YouTube. That's what it is. There we go. Got them all. So we're on all those formats. So what we can do is take questions, comments, and we want to hear yours, because some of the things that we're going to be talking about, Tesla is now teaming up with Atari. We're going to bring that up. We're going to talk about Facebook and their security, which I know we're broadcasting on Facebook, but their security team is changing. So we'll say that. I'm sure we just got taken off of Facebook right now. Apple is $1 trillion company. We're going to talk about that. And I have probably the creepiest home assistant that has ever been created that we're going to talk about in a little bit. But the first thing we're going to get to here, after we introduce our round of characters, is the Microsoft Surface Go. So we have one here in studio. We want to get your questions on it. Whatever it is that you want to talk about, if you have something you want to know about it, let us know what that is, and we will ask the experts. So let's introduce our cast. I'm Greg Nibler, and to my right,
Hanif Jackson, Team Flapjack.
Team Flapjack. Which it is true. Now that you've said Team Flapjack, I've seen all the posts. You post a lot about pancakes and flapjacks. Yeah. I mean, it's like
I take it seriously.
Yeah, it's not. You're not joking about it.
It's not a game.
Yeah, it's not a game for you.
It's a team.
And right now, debuting her brand new nickname.
I am Juliana, also known as Tequiliana.
Tequiliana.
Thanks to my coworkers.
So, what is your favorite kind of tequila? If you had to choose one.
I don't know.
Oh, that's too much on the spot. A dark.
Yeah,
that's
all of it. I know. I just know I like it.
The whole catalog.
It's a fair answer.
All right, and on the end.
I haven't been on the show enough to have a nickname or a team, but my name is Luke. I have a normal name.
Yeah, no normal name for now.
Just Luke.
We'll see if we can fix that before the end of this episode.
Yeah, we got to change that.
So we'll see if we can come up with a nickname. So let us know what that is. But let's talk about the Surface Go here to start off with. So you just got this in your hands, very recently, this week. So tell us about this. Like in the line of Surface products, obviously it's the newest one. What makes this one different?
Well, this is the the Surface Pro. They have the Surface Pro, which everybody loves. It's the bigger one,
right?
And this is the Surface Go. It's a 10-inch one, and it's kind of like Microsoft took a 3-year break from making these Surface tablets. They're really more tablets than like a 2-in-1, like a Surface Pro. It's still a 2-in-1, but obviously it's 10 inches. You can hold it in one hand pretty well, just like an iPad. And it's really meant to be more of something like that, and it's really affordable. So
yeah, because it's only $400, right? That's pretty good. So at that price, is that a good deal for what you're getting?
I think it is. I think it is, because if you think about what you can get, like what kind of computer you can get for $400, it's not much.
Yeah.
You can get an iPad. You can get a really cheap Windows laptop that's going to be like this thick and like really heavy and really old. Or you can get a Chromebook, or you can get this. I think this is a pretty good option, especially for somebody who is like on the go all the time and wants like that tablet functionality too. I think it's probably like your best option if you want those things in like a computer.
I was going to say, compared to go ahead.
Oh, what don't you like about it?
What I don't like, it uses I think a lot of people assume that it would come with a kind of like standard Intel Core processor, which is what you'll find in most laptops. And this is an Intel Pentium processor, which is a lower end processor, meaning it really can't do you can't have 15 Chrome tabs open and a YouTube video running and Spotify streaming.
That's exactly describing my laptop normally.
Yeah, that's the first thing I did.
Have all of it up, and then I complain about how nothing's working right.
That's
That's my standard course. So.
Yeah, you'll experience some clunkiness if you do that. If you try to do that with this, but if you do one thing at a time, or just a few things at a time, if you're like in Microsoft Word or you're watching Netflix or you're just like doing some browsing, it's gonna you're not gonna notice. It's gonna do really well. So
you did say there's something weird about the keyboard.
There is something weird. It's very specific. For the most part, it's a really great keyboard. Here,
yeah.
Show it where you can actually see it.
Yeah, if you're watching live, you can see
this. $130 type cover, which does not come with this.
Okay.
So it's really important. I mean, you really should not buy this without the keyboard.
Without getting the keyboard.
Yeah, because it's, Windows 10 is still not a great platform for tablets. It's just, you're not going to find much in terms of, the App Store. There's not much there. And it's still like, you're still kind of poking around with stuff that's really meant for a keyboard and a mouse. But anyways, keyboard is $130 or $100 if you want the cheaper one. But it has some weird, a keyboard layout that's like takes a lot of getting used to because it's quite a bit smaller than your normal keyboard. And it has this like, I don't even know if I want to go into this. It's so hard to explain, but basically it's a smushed down layout that has the top row of keys kind of in just slightly off position, which doesn't seem like a big thing, but when you're like actually typing, you'll end up making a lot of mistakes trying to get used to it. So
yeah, I mean, and that's one of those things though that would end up really annoying me. Take a look here at the chat. One of the comments, Luke says if they drop the Pentium label, I think it would sell better. So talking about the.
Yeah, I mean, when they announced it, they were like, "Oh, it's it's okay. The chip is based on the Core architecture. It's going to do great. It's like I think it's a dual core processor, and but it really does. It's not anywhere near
not that great.
What you're going to expect from like that kind of a laptop. So.
Okay, but overall, for the price, you've given it a pretty good review.
Yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10. I think for certain people, this is going to be like the computer they always wanted. Like take it to class or whatever if you're in college, and it's affordable, it's small.
I gotta say, I really like this like yoga pant.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah, the yoga pant style that it does have to the. Yeah.
It actually reminds me of like the like fake material in like cars, like the seats almost.
What's the battery life on it?
Not great. It's I think what I was saying, it's like passable for this kind of device. I really wish it was better. We got like 8 hours on a video loop, or like on normal usage is probably like 5 hours. Is what we should expect. So it's not great, but
for the price,
$400.
It's $400.
Yeah,
it's super slim, so it's not
really
like
slim.
You can just add a bigger battery without like stretching the size.
Yeah, there's gonna be other
compromises
compromises
or the thickness. Yeah,
but and like for example, like an iPad has way better battery than this.
Right.
So,
but you're paying a lot more for that. Right?
Well,
how much is an iPad?
That's kind of the main problem. The iPad is only $330.
Well, see, then at that point, is it worth going to that or just going for an iPad?
I think
depending on which ecosystem you're in.
For most people, an iPad is probably what they're going to want.
Right.
If you're just that kind of person who like wants to be able to actually like use Windows and like do some like actual work, this might be a better option. So.
That was a dig. Do some actual work.
I was like playing games and nonsense.
Yeah. Well, it feels more like a laptop.
Yeah, it's
what the iPad does.
For sure.
Yeah.
And this keyboard is way better than that. That's the smart keyboard that comes with that you can buy with the iPad.
So again, talking about the Microsoft Surface Go, the newest one from the Surface line. And so if you do have any questions, feel free to drop those in, and we'll get those throughout the show because we've got it here. So if you do have questions, let us know what those are. Dan just chimed in and just wanted to say Blade rules. Talking about Hanif's shirt.
One of the greatest films of all time.
Wow, that's a whole different debate that we can talk about on that one. All right, let's get on to some other topics because we do have some other stuff to get to. Talking about, I did want to bring this up just because, we talk about the biggest news stories of the week, and this is too big to ignore. Literally, it's Apple is now a $1 trillion company. They finally did it. I think it's something we've kind of anticipated happening for a long time.
Well, yeah, they're selling all those pricey iPads.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, seriously. But yeah, $1 trillion, which is just an insane amount of money. And I don't know what that means. Like, as far as Apple's concerned, like, do we all? They just
you don't know what $1 trillion looks like?
I mean, I know. No, I have no idea.
God,
what that looks like. Yeah,
whatsoever.
Stacked up on the end to end. But I just wonder what that's going to do for the company. Like, where do you go when you're at $1 trillion? Like $2 trillion, is that the goal? Or become your own country? Yeah. We're all going to be citizens of Apple-lonia or something like that. I don't know. Probably they can come up with a better name than that. But
Steve Land.
Steve was Steve Land. So Apple becoming $1 trillion company. I just wanted to bring that up. I don't know if anybody had any thoughts or comments on that. I just thought that's insane. And Amazon is supposedly really close behind as well.
Yeah, I think that was probably going to be my only comment was I wonder who is number 2 or who's following close behind.
Yeah, it's Amazon, I guess, is at $900 and some billion. So that just sounds like a ridiculous number. $900 billion. So they're probably going to be coming up there too. So I just wanted to bring that up. But the next thing I want to talk about actually does have to do with Facebook. And it's this. And we all know Facebook's had their security issues, especially over this last year or so. I mean, it seems like it's constantly in the news. And they did something very weird in that they seem to be shooting themselves in the foot with this. So they created this robust, according to them, security group to, watch out for the fake posts and everybody trying to influence elections on there. And now their security chief, the person who's been ahead of this is Alex Stamos. He's their chief security officer. He's resigning in mid-August. So he's just leaving. And they aren't replacing him. They're actually dissolving the department into. They said they're going to put a security officer in different departments, but the actual Facebook security group is not going to exist anymore, which seems like the dumbest PR move they could ever possibly do right now. How do you guys feel about this?
I think it's interesting. I was actually reading the post earlier, and he was leaving Facebook to go teach, I think. And so I think there's the overall lesson here is we should all leave Facebook to go pursue educational pursuits.
The stakes are a
each
little
one
lower.
Teach one,
right?
Kind of thing.
Yeah. But I mean, with this, they're already having such issues. It seems like people leaving Facebook in general. And I'm curious for people watching too. Does this even matter to you, or is this something where you're just used to Facebook being, I just assume that they're. Everybody's reading everything that I post on there, and everything I see is fake or whatever. If you're just used to it, you don't care, no big deal. But does this matter to you? Does it matter to you that Facebook is dissolving their security agency?
The timing is really bad.
It's so bad.
It couldn't be worse.
Right before an election,
and there was
elections coming up.
Did you see that article that came out that they were already
spotting?
They were already spotting that
yes.
there was some stuff going on with
already spotting the fake whatever posts, the influencing posts and all that stuff. Yeah, it just seems like a really, really terrible idea. But I guess the bottom line is, are you going to get off of Facebook? Juliana, will you stay on? Does this even matter?
I have been using it less.
Yeah.
But not because of the security thing. It's just I don't know. Probably I'm using Instagram more now than Facebook.
It's okay. They own that too.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
they're doing okay in the end.
It's the same thing. But I don't think that I'll leave social media unless I'll go on a full detox, not answering my phone and stuff like that.
Right.
I think that while we're working in news, even if it's tech, we've got to be I feel like I've got to be in social media just to understand everything that we're talking about,
right,
and how everything is evolving in
this
area.
So the security side doesn't. I mean, it doesn't matter to you. It's not going to change anything.
It's not that it doesn't matter. I think everyone's concerned about their security. I just don't know how people. I mean, I don't know if people and even myself we're aware of what this really means. Personally.
Right. What it's going to end up doing. And that's true. It's hard to see it in a bigger concept.
Yeah, I know, for example, that on Facebook, there's a lot of fact checkers now that were not there a year ago. So maybe that kind of compensates that fuzzy area of the fake news and everything we saw last year and beginning of this year. But as long as they don't say what they're going to do from now on after this guy is out, then I really don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And as far as they don't tell anything, I just everything's in a limbo right now. I feel.
Yeah. So I think I kind of agree on that. I mean, I'm not going to get off of Facebook, especially doing what we do. You have to be on there.
It's kind of like this necessity that we all have to have. However, should we be concerned? Absolutely. I think we all should be concerned. I mean, if we're going to be on it, we should, be at least paying attention to what they're doing.
Right. I just think it's just such a terrible, terrible PR move. I mean,
they didn't
even if they didn't do anything, just say, oh yeah, no, we put somebody else in that position. Yeah. I mean,
they didn't no spin at all.
No.
It's just
we don't need it.
My only
big.
My only hope is that they were just wow, we were doing such a bad job before.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to shut this all down and just restart and do it in a different way. That's the only thing I can think of. They didn't say that though.
No. They just said, Nah, we're good.
We're gonna stop trying.
So anyway, that's the news on Facebook. So yeah, we're just curious what anybody thought about that. Edward just says, I just want my memes. So at the end of the day, if that's all you're wanting out of it, I mean,
All
good.
about those dank
That is a good
memes.
call. All right, we got a couple more things to talk about here, and I want to get to this smart home assistant that is, like I said, the creepiest one that I've ever seen. But it could also, I could see it totally taking off. But before we get to that, let's talk about some Tesla news. In an interesting partnership, Tesla has announced that they're partnering with Atari. So for their autopilot system or the software that Tesla uses in their cars, they're going to be getting an update pretty soon, which will include Atari games on their infotainment system. And you're going to the way it's supposedly going to work is they're saying you have to be parked to play this, but you can use your actual the wheel, your actual steering wheel to play like pole position on the infotainment system in your car.
Yeah, all right. I was concerned there for a minute. I was like, how are they going to justify this?
Yeah, but somebody's going to figure out how to change that so they can actually drive while playing pole position. Like somebody's going to figure out how to hack that, I would think.
It's such a bad idea.
Heads-up display with AR, and then you following the road.
There you go. Yeah.
That sounds real safe.
I know, exactly. It's like, what do you think about this? About as far as just like, autopilot systems in general, but adding in Atari to something like this, like where I see that it could result in a lot of problems.
I'm kind of surprised that they didn't already have something like this. These cars are like the most luxurious cars you can buy.
Right.
Maybe. I don't know, as far as I know. But I feel having like
I have a Ford Ranger, dude. This looks amazing to me. So
you don't just play with your like air conditioner switch from time to time just because you're bored.
That's the
sitting
only
there,
thing I care
just
about
like,
in my car is the air conditioner.
I just feel like I even read on the article that they were talking about like developing their own games for the little system there, which is like, I'm sure. Yeah.
I mean, in a way, I would probably use it, but I wouldn't tell anybody. I would just keep it to myself.
Well, I mean, how about the other people in the car? Like, this is for the driver?
Can they play it? I mean, they're saying you could sit there and park your car. Now, who's going to park their car and sit there and play their video game?
That's what I don't understand. Like,
imagine somebody just looking at you. You're sitting there with your car not going anywhere, turning your wheel.
In what situation would you be in where that's going to be a thing?
Traffic?
I mean, I guess maybe
traffic. I guess if you're stuck.
Yeah, I forget about.
Yeah, because you'd have it turned off.
Some people.
That's true. I mean, that's why I'm looking forward to autonomous cars. Just especially. I mean, we're in Portland, so obviously, but traffic's bad in a lot of places. But here, particularly this summer,
if it's an autonomous car, then you can just, while your robot driver is driving you can play whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where this is going.
Yeah.
You're getting ready for the full autonomous car, and then you can just play games the whole time.
Play games the entire time. Yeah. All right, now I'm in. Okay, I can do that. Let me plug in a PS4.
Yeah, but we're not there yet, obviously.
Right.
Because legislation, because I don't know, there was a crash not long ago, and it's set back. So I don't know if it's a good idea to put this there now.
Right.
Even if you have to be parked to play with it, I'm not sure how this is like a smart move right now.
Again, sort of part of the PR moves. It does seem like a weird time to start introducing.
I mean, the Easter eggs on like the maps on Mars and stuff like that. It's pretty cool, but Atari is actually like a lot of interaction, whereas the map wasn't.
I just don't think Elon Musk cares. Like, I don't think he cares what the perception is. It's like, people are still gonna buy it. Or whatever. He's got enough money. He just doesn't end up caring. I mean, he says all kinds of crazy stuff. So
tweets gold.
Yeah, he's just like as Austin said, trust in Elon Musk always. So so there it is. So that's another one of those things. Yeah. So there it is. If you're listening right now and you hear the sirens, those are actually happening outside of our building. So just to let you know, I'm not dubbing them in for some weird reason, which would be strange.
That Elon Musk effect.
Yeah. Anytime we talk about Elon Musk, the sirens come on. All right, let's get on to our last thing here. And this one I actually want to get into and talk about, especially having to do with home assistants. And I'm curious for anybody. That's a really loud siren. For anybody watching. If you have a home assistant, what one do you use and what do you like most about it? And then I'm going to bring up this brand new kind of one. Well, it's not brand new, but it's something that is coming from Japan, and which will make a lot of sense once you see what we're talking about. And it's called Gatebox. And so it's a rival home assistant to Alexa or Google Home.
Yes.
And
so
what it is, to try to describe this, it's like a... It's a very big. It's got a screen on it, and on the screen is like an anime woman who is the image of the Home Assistant.
This is so
and
great.
this woman dances and she interacts with you. The video that they have for it, if you can watch the video right now, you need to be watching this. If you're listening to the podcast, go to digitaltrends.com, just type in Gatebox, and you'll see, you have to see it. And so it starts off with this guy at work, and then he gets texts from his AI. And he comes home, and this AI is this, like I said, like an anime girl, interacting with him, telling him how much she missed him, and bringing up the fact that it's their anniversary. The guy brings her an anniversary present, talks about, and then they show him with opening up a bottle of champagne and cheersing his AI. And so it's this whole like lifestyle kind of Home Assistant that you can interact with. Juliana, what do you think about this?
The first thing I remember was Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody has said that too. Yeah, that is exactly what it seems like. Like this
So
is taking it
creepy.
to that next level of AI where you're interacting with it, and I don't know, or like or something like that. You know, it's where this is becoming this kind of a system. Like, how would you feel about this? Would you use a system like this?
I feel so validated. This proves my point every time I'm on here. I always say it. They're taking over, and this is, honestly, I would say this is probably the best produced ad campaign for something like this I've seen. They really went to the next level on this one. I was kind of felt sympathetic for the guy a little bit. It's like,
Right, you do feel bad for him.
Yeah, you're like, wow,
Why?
like,
He's so happy.
but no, at first, because they kind of play you into it, like, oh man, he's like this poor guy, he's just working hard, and then he just wants to get home to his digital assistant, but then like it kind of takes a turn.
I don't think that's what he calls it.
And then it kind of takes a turn, because then he does get home to her, and he's like so happy, and they like sit down, they have their meal, and everything's better.
Like they have their meal. He's eating next to a computer screen. She's not eating anything.
I would be concerned if I were dating this guy and then find out that his previous girlfriend was a digital assistant. I'll be like running out of the house immediately.
I'm working late. He throws a blanket over it. I mean, I can totally see this being a hit, though. Like something, the more we start seeing the AI develop, and the more these Home Assistants become a part of our lives, especially with like all the screens that are being introduced to all of them, like this is going to be a normal thing for a lot of people.
No.
Not for Luke. All right, so you
This
would
is the
not use
opposite
this.
of what I want in
No.
AI. I want my AI to be just like faceless, nameless,
Yeah.
just a terminal I just type into and then or speak to, and then it just does things for me.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any. I don't want any human characteristics from my AI.
Luke, it's not about what you want, it's about what's happening. Right?
I mean,
Well, he can still keep the Amazon Echo Dot. I mean, it's not like it has a screen even.
yeah.
I don't even like those talking to me. I don't even want that.
So, what kind of Home Assistant do you use, or do you use one at
I don't
all?
have one, but well, for that reason, because I don't like what I love is I love Google Assistant because it doesn't, and then I don't have it talk to me. I just like, hey Google, how long am I going to take to?
So you want to keep your AI simple.
Yes, very
Yeah.
simple. I'm in control. It just does what I say. That's it.
Taking a look at some of the comments here, Edward just said, this is the first personal assistant that I have wanted, and kind of creepy and sad. So, which it is. But I mean, I think this is the kind of thing that we can expect to see more of. Maybe not necessarily when quite like this. I think they'll mask it a little better, but
Blade Runner 2049.
Blade
I'm
Runner,
telling you.
yeah, Blade Runner 2049. That's the kind of thing that's going to be happening. Like that's what we're going to be seeing more of. And there's also another AI that just to talk about artificial assistance here or artificial intelligence before we wrap up today. There's another one now that's been developed too that is writing sonnets. So, and I'm curious for you guys. I'm going to kind of give an idea of this here. So this thing writes Shakespeare sonnets that I guess are really indistinguishable from what actual Shakespeare sonnets were. But the more that this AI becomes intelligent enough to do these kinds of things, like write like a human, the more we're going to start seeing journalism articles written by AI. So how do you feel about that as tech journalist, Luke? How do you feel about this?
It's just reminding me of those YouTube videos where like they have like the Spider-Man head on the YouTube Kids videos. You remember this from a couple months ago? There was like these like randomly generated videos that were like they were videos with like superheroes and like Disney princesses, but it was very nonsensical and like weird, obviously put together by a computer. That's just what I'm thinking of. That's what these articles are going to be like. We're going to be
think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be terrible.
Just like
So you think it'll be like clearly obvious that it was written by a machine?
Yeah. Just like, oh, this seems like a thing that people say, and this seems like, and then none of it makes sense together.
Well, they have started using them more. They were doing some tests, I think, for like baseball roundups and sports. We're using some different AIs to like sum up what happened during a game and just pulling the stats and then putting together what looks like a synopsis of the game. And it seemed
Well, that could make sense.
and it did kind of work. Juliana, what do you think about this?
Well, your example is very technical because it's
Yeah.
sports. Whereas, like,
Right.
we were just talking about how weird the keyboard was, and I don't think a robot can feel how weird the keyboard is.
Yeah.
So that human aspect will never be replaced.
Or make the
because-
connection to yoga pants.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the second one. So,
Yeah.
at least for our field, which is tech news and reviews, like, I don't think robots or AI can just have a feel of that
Okay.
type of stuff. I personally do not feel that bad if I could have my personal AI or robot and do all my work and earn the bucks for me. See?
Yeah. So you just want to sit at home and let that.
She's cashing in.
Yeah, that's smart. I mean, you might as well. Somebody's got to make the money. It doesn't care about it. So.
The thing is, like, to own the AI and robot.
Okay, so it's getting a front of it. That's what it is, and then make it do all the. All right, I can kind of see that. Hanif, what about you? I mean, we know that
yeah.
your stance on AI.
So yeah, no, this
Suppress it.
is just further proof of my point. I will say though, if it's kind of cute and cuddly like this might like be a good way to bait skeptics like me into it. You know?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
I'm
All you
just
gotta do is
saying.
put a cute face on
Yeah,
it.
that's all you
Yeah,
gotta do.
guys. So
just wrap it in an anime character. People will buy it.
Well, look at this puppy. This puppy's
Yeah.
not going to take you down. Well, I mean, I think we're going to start seeing more and more things like this as it proliferates out into more homes, because I think it's 100 million homes right now have some kind of an assistant at them, or 100 million devices were sold. So there's a lot of them out there, and that's just right now. So we are going to see more of these gatebox ones. But
to the point though earlier made, with like what Luke was saying with the Google Assistant, how it's kind of like faceless and genderless, that kind of thing. I think this is like the complete opposite end of that, right?
Yeah.
But I think if I was going to get one, maybe it should be something like that though. But it's kind of like, because it's got to be sold to someone, right? So
Right.
who do you sell to the people in the cute cuddly package, or do you make it completely anamorphic or whatever?
yeah, I don't know. Well, Luke's not buying
know what
it,
I
so
want.
yeah, he's not getting that one. All right, well, that's what we have for this week. So again, though, if you want to check out the review of the Microsoft Surface Go, that is up at digitaltrends.com. And just like everything else that we talked about this week, too, we do the show live every Thursday at 2:30 p.m. Pacific. So you can tune in and chat, send us your questions. You can always send them afterward, though, too, because we do have the podcast up. And hit subscribe on this podcast, wherever you get yours, and send us an email, podcast@digitaltrends.com. A little programming note. No between the streams tomorrow, so that's normally at noon on Friday, but Ryan is out, so we're taking a week off from that. But otherwise, we'll be back next Thursday with another episode of Trends with Benefits. Thanks for watching.
No dubs.
Tequiliana.
Yeah, I didn't know.